Okay, I have a couple friends. I have a psychoanalyst friend in New York and a philosopher friend. And between the two of them, one question that they were interested in was, where is neuroscience in terms of validating or refuting some of Freud's theories?
Marvelous ideas and beautiful theories. People forget, Freud's main interest when he started was to do a brain project. He called it the project. And he was interested as a neurologist to study the brain. He was not interested in this. And in fact, when he got down to it, he couldn't find the data. So he pivoted from studying the brain to essentially Greek mythology. So I mean, he came up with these exotic, interesting ideas, but frankly, there's not a lot of evidence about some of the details of his essentially Greek mythological ideas, like Oedipus complex. Now, having said that, there's some brilliantly insightful things that he said, like there's, the id, the I, which in German is I, is ich, and then of course the ego, which everybody kind of gets, and then the superego, which is kind of like our rules of so there's sort of like he captured something really important about the fact that there are these layers, but he saw it behaviorally, he had no evidence in neuroscience. So the reality is neuroscience is saying, fabulous story, tremendously interesting metaphors. But in terms of neuroscience, the data in neuroscience is coming more and more up to non-conscious processing, being about these cues, and being in a fraction of a second. And these huge biases that we have. And so it's that we could call the biases defenses. Yeah. Sort of. The rationalizations are certainly defenses. So there's ways of reconciling aspects of it. But when you look at the hardcore neuroscience of the last 20 years, it's just got such extraordinary explanatory power. Psychoanalytic models, as fabulous as they are, and the neuroscience is kind of more and more at variance with them. So, it's just over time, the non-conscious cues and the rationalizations of what we do consciously just seem to cover and provide a more explicable and testable. Remember, the biggest actionable. But the biggest criticism of Freud is that it's untestable. Yeah. So that's not necessarily to say that's wrong. I'm just saying it's a pretty limited flaw when you have a theory that is untestable. Whereas these neuroscience models are built on modulated, testable, clear questions. So that's my view of what I would say. But having said that, I think, and it comes back to your initial question, when you're talking about self and you're thinking about meaning and purpose, nobody has a monopoly of wisdom of what's going on here. You've got to put it all together, and you've got to be open to just kind of like explore whether even though, as you obviously heard, I'm kind of not a religious person. I don't pretend to know what happened, but the brain is my spiritual world, and there's so much that can be explained through the brain that is spiritual. And so I just think there's a lot of explanatory power, and my friends who are religious and Buddhist in particular, wonderful ideas. They may be absolutely right, because as we move up the hierarchy of question and come to self, and then purpose and meaning and order, and how did this all happen, before the Big Bang Theory. So all of these issues come into play, and they I think get harder and harder. We know less and less, we're uncertain of so much of those issues. We have a smidgen of the essence of the way the brain may work and how we might change aspects of it. But beyond that, we're kind of still holding hands in the dark.
Yeah, well, I assume there's always going to be some level of mystery associated with the brain. I hope so, in a way.
Yeah, I must say, the more we know about it, the more magical it becomes.
More magical.
To me, the more we elucidate, the more, I think it makes it more magical.
Exactly.
How do I even put my finger and thumb together? Oh my goodness, when you actually think about that, you go, this is like...
I know, right?
No other animal can do that. Just that. So
they can't do that?
No. Miracles all the time.
It's miracles every day.
Every second.
Wake up, turn it on, it's a miracle.
It's an ongoing miracle.
Well, thank you, Evian.
It's my pleasure.
This has been delightful. And everybody, check out his book and get out there and make it tick. Make Make it tick. Make it hum.
Welcome to
It
the
can
brain
be done.
revolution. It's yours.
Welcome to the brain
I'm
revolution.
just a foot soldier.
Okay.
Summarising a bit of
I'll join
information.
you.